Hi, I'm Venom 2 million. Welcome. Hello. Hi, y'all. It's Venom. Can I be heard? Are the levels good? I don't know. The levels are good. I hope so. Welcome. I hope you are having a great day, a great night. It's currently 11 p.m. here, the time of this live stream, this live show. We're talking about, you see the title, the Metaverse, Metacognition, and they cloned Tyrone. Like, and I'm not just like talking about like the movie. I'm gonna talk about like the implication of the film, like what is really like talking about, or at least my opinion of it. But I'm still connecting it with the whole technology thing. You know, the metaverse, meta, all of this meta stuff, meta within. You know, but we're gonna look up some stuff. We're gonna talk about it. I hope you all are having a great night, as I said. Yeah, so. With the metaverse and well, before we even get into the metaverse and everything like that, I think that meta is an interesting term in itself. You know, meta. All right, meta. So like meta is like a word that here, instead of me making it up, let me just look up the word meta, because, and then I'm gonna also talk about like the usage of all of this, like looking up words and what is, you know, because we need sometimes to have an outside source validate things, and that outside source, what is that outside source and all of that. But meta, let's talk about meta for a minute. And this also, for those watching, this connects to, so my next video, my next live stream is going to be the real problem with Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2. So like this connects with it. I'm not really anticipating or expecting. I'm not doing this. Let's just keep going. All right. Okay. So now this word meta right here. So meta is of a creative work. It says adjective referring to itself or to the conventions of its genre. Self-referential. The enterprise is inherently meta, since it doesn't review movies. For example, it reviews the reviewers who review movies. Okay, so that would be a concept of meta, of a company that reviews the reviewers that are reviewing the films. That's meta. It's self-referential. Meta. Okay, so this usage of this word meta is I think it's very interesting, and I want to go into the metaverse concept, because the metaverse is something that I feel like went away, but it didn't. Like, I mean, it did go away. Like they made up a whole, it's like a, what's the definition first before the definition, and there's a point, like we're talking about multiverse in Marvel. We're talking about all of these different concepts. So like there's a real point to like what I'm talking about, at least. But so anyway, all right. So metaverse. In colloquial usage, a metaverse is a network of 3D virtual worlds focused on social and economic connection. Okay, and they said right here, it's a fictional universe. Wow. They said fictional universe. That's interesting. In science fiction, the metaverse is a hypothetical iteration of the internet as a single universal and immersive virtual world that is facilitated by the use of virtual reality and augmented reality headsets. Now they said in science fiction, but then, well, okay, the Oculus. All right. Like the companies, they were trying to do the metaverse thing, or they still are. Like, in my opinion, the metaverse is this. You're watching me in the metaverse. I'm in the metaverse. Hi, woo. Like I grew up in the metaverse. Like the metaverse. They like coined the phrase metaverse. You know, it's like now a thing. I mean, it was always a space that we went into, I guess, right? But like now it's like a legitimized, defined space that is been defined with this universal word that we all have been taught. Recently we've been taught a lot of words within the past few years. Not taught, at least. These words have become within our social sphere, within our verse. I don't know, like, but it's like the words that's like It doesn't matter what those words are. There's a whole bunch of words though that we've all come. I never thought I would use the word quarantine in day-to-day stuff. And quarantine, it's so interesting, the whole concept of the quarantine and the metaverse when that came along with. It's just so interesting, all of it. But we're gonna keep going because I do want to talk about the metaverse as it pertains to metacognition. And Facebook is called Meta, but is it still, is it Meta or is it Facebook? Like, okay, like if you're watching this, hi, and right here, right, okay, right there, when it goes to a blue bird, like that's X, but so like I guess I'm dating it's X, it's not Twitter, it's X, and that's supposed to be, Elon Musk says, is going to be the world's largest financial banking institution or something like that. Like we're in the metaverse, and well, I guess that has to do with cryptocurrency. And that's another thing too. I want to talk about the concept of the metaverse. This being a space that the corporations have defined as this is the metaverse, or I guess they have defined whatever as the metaverse, because like I have my own definition. I say this right here is my sweat. No, like this is the metaverse right here where you're watching me. So like it's interesting the idea that it's not the idea that the metaverse is a place where you have to put a headset on. And I mean, look, I don't know about the head, like the kids are doing it. I outgrew that stuff a little bit, not fully. Like VR is sweet, but like the putting on. I mean, I guess it could be cool to put on the headset and you hang out with your friends online. But like, I guess if it's quarantining, if you're quarantining, that's cool. But why? I mean, but this is also like technically what I'm speaking about in some like circles, like this could be considered to be old, but I don't think so. Like it's all we moving into this digital space, and we're already in this digital space. Like I said, you're watching me, but like we're moving. Technology is going into the place that we all know it's going to, and you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And what the point is with metacognition, this whole concept of meta, right? So meta's inside, the internal side, and within. Metacognition, the reason why I have that in the title is because metacognition means this. And I learned metacognition in school. I went to I didn't go to a public school, but I guess it was public. It was a charter public school. Do people know what that is? Is that an urban thing? Maybe. But my education was all right. I learned this word right here, and actually really, I'm like downplaying it. Like this, the teacher that taught me this stuff is unheard, amazing. It's gonna be movies about her and stuff. Y'all wait. It's gonna be like, oh, he said that in. All right. Anyway, metacognition right here is like, it says awareness and understanding of one's own thought process. Metacognition. So this concept of meta, of Facebook, they called it meta. What does meta mean? And we said it's self-referential. So like the idea of, I guess Facebook is supposed to be self-referencing itself. It's everybody's on Facebook and it's meta. You're supposed to go into the metaverse with the Facebook headset. Okay, now this is what I'm getting to. So this is, to me, the metaverse. All right, like the internet is the metaverse, right? You come into the space, whether you have right now you could say it's not a digital avatar, but I'm speaking and you're watching me on the computer, on your phone, whatever. That's the metaverse. The idea of us having to put on headsets and stuff is cool, and that's perhaps where we already are. But like, what does this all mean in terms of technology? In terms of like, if in my mind, we're watching films, and these films showcase technology. We're reading books, and these books showcase technology. And of course, the innovation is all of the engineers. They get they work directly with the creatives, with the designers, and all of these things, and that's cool. But like, my mind goes to the space of, so the concept art imitating life, or life imitating art. The idea of are we as a society looking at these films and going, that's where we would like to be? And is that what is taking place when it comes to technology, when it comes to where we're going? We saw Ready Player One, and the game developers, or they read Ready Player One, and the game developers said, that's what I want to do. Is that the case? The point of in my mind, Facebook Metaverse, when I first hear these words, I immediately thought of Metacognition. I thought of like thinking about my thinking about, what is all of the concept of us moving into this space, the technology going to this place in the films where a particular, where fear, I guess, is induced, and we're moving to this space, and like there's no real discourse about it. There's like just, I guess, an acceptance of it, and people just pretending to be shocked and waiting for that next surprise. Like, last week we get crazy news with the Pentagon, and it's not crazy because in real life you still have to pay bills, you still have to do things. So yes, these other things may be happening, but we got bills to pay and all of this. So what is my mind, like, what's the ultimate point? They talk about distractions, the news last week perhaps being a distraction, right? All of these psychological operations that apparently the government is running. Now, in my opinion, if the government is running psychological operations, then, and I mean, if you look at history and everything, that's what's taking place. Then the psychological operations are for sure taking place with the technology. So, and if the films are showcasing technology that is in the film considered to be fiction, or at least told to the audience, presented in a way in which it's considered to be fiction, and then like in real life, like it's not, it's there, it's an announcement, then what's going on? Like if the iRobot movie comes out, and then Elon Musk, he say, hey, I'm gonna make some robots. And iRobot came out years ago. Like, this artificial intelligence is a phrase that my generation grew up with before Siri. Like, it's not. So like, then this concept of fearing it is if it's made by man, it was, if the ultimate point is for it to destroy man, right? Then that's how man created it. Man created it with the intention to destroy, because like so it's all of this idea of like fearing these concepts, falling into these like, okay, metaverse, and even web 3.0, cryptocurrency, NFTs. Okay, when I say nobody, I don't mean nobody. I mean a group of people, not even a group of people that study the space, the Web 3 space, that study blockchain, that study programming, that study all of these things. They are familiar with Web 3, right? Everybody else ain't. So like, there ain't really an opinion to be had about it. But there's this opinion, this narrative that's given, that Web 3, we don't want it, and NFTs ain't nothing, and cryptocurrency is this, and it's like all of these concepts, but nobody really knows anything about it. And then like, we know technology and everything is moving, but it's just like this. To me, I find it interesting how we as a society, we look at things and we become surprised by certain things, and other things we claim can't happen until they do. And it's like, yo, what? Meta. Like, meta. Like, so the point is we're supposed to all pay attention to what's going on within. Like, pay attention to ourselves, pay attention to how we're doing, pay attention to how we're feeling, and like not listen to all of this stuff, because it's like it's just this information is new, but it ain't. It's like you talking about the video game? No, real life. You talking about what happened last week? No, I'm talking about what happened today. Like, what? Deus Ex. Okay, before we even, why is Twitter called X? Space X. Like, X. Xbox. Xbox Series X. Xbox One X. X. This is government experience. That's a government psychological operation right there. Hey, okay. Okay, so, all right. So then, okay. We get movies that come out. All right. Wait a minute. Before, because I don't want to, I want to make sure, I just want to make sure that before I say this, when did The Last of Us Part 2 come out? When did The Last of Us Part 2 game come out, y'all? It came out in 2020. The Last of Us Part 2 came out June 19th, 2020. Okay. All right, that's during the pandemic. Now, this is what I'm getting to. Okay. Now, in the Spider-Man game, there was a pandemic. And wait a minute. In Metaverse, Metacognition. Look, I'm talking about video games. Just listen to what I'm saying. All right, it's interesting to me. And this is a live discussion, okay? In the Spider-Man game, there was a pandemic, and like, it was because Dr. Octavius, he was mad and he unleashed the virus. What was it? Dragon's breath. What was the name of the dirty breath? What was the name of them? Hold on, I'm gonna pull that up too. Hold on. I didn't even show. Like, let me just. Yeah. I'm gonna make it so that y'all can see me typing this stuff in too. Okay. All right. We got the browser. We got the private browser to make sure we don't get any cookies, because I want to have that unadulterated, unfiltered search history. Okay. So Last of Us came out then. Hold on. So Last of Us came out in 2020, which was during the pandemic. What was the name of that virus? The virus in Spider-Man. Wait, it's called Marvel Spider-Man. And then I'm gonna talk a little, and I'm gonna get into Tyrone, because like, and then this, and then I'm gonna connect it, because my next live is gonna be about okay, they said the spider virus. No, I said Marvel Spider-Man too. That's why, because I was talking at the same time. The virus in Marvel Spider-Man. Okay, spider virus. It was not a spider virus. What was what was the virus? That it was Devil's Breath. That's what it was. They didn't named it Devil's Breath. This man was fighting demons. They didn't named it Devil's Breath. What is this article? Let me turn this off, because I can't even have those words. I don't even think that's legal. Artificial intelligence. I did not do that. Everything is fine. YouTube, look, I did not. It is fine. It is good. We talking about metacognition. But okay, what I'm getting to, this is called Devil's Breath. He was fighting demons. That game is something else. It's made by Insomniac. They woke. And we gonna talk about them being woke, cause that's like the problem. And it ain't what you think either. I ain't going down no, like, you know me. If you don't know, like Venom, I be on my different stuff. I have my real opinions. Like, that's what I'm talking about too. Like, everybody is their own person. So like, we all have our own opinions and own perspectives. In my last video, not last video, but 2 streams ago, like, I talked about appreciating the different unique perspectives. Like, my perspective is my own. Like, it's a true original perspective. Like, I can't get on. I mean, I can get on here and act like I have a degree in that. I can doop. You know, yeah, I love the game. It looks great, and oh my god, and wow, we're just, you know, and it's, but I can be uplifting and be positive and not, and like, and I can be uplifting, positive, and be genuine. We don't have to be negative Nancy's and be to be real. You know, we can be positive and be genuine. But with that, like, the concept of devil's breath, a virus. Am I too loud? Let me make sure I ain't too loud. Level's good. A virus before the virus. Like, dang, what the heck is going on? They be using, and then they be using certain words like predictive programming, and then when it's like, there's words for everything. Like, there's a definition for all of it. Everything you look up, if you could think, you could look it up. Think about it, look it up. Ask Siri, or maybe not Siri, Chat Gypt. Ask your artificial, ask Jarvis. And then it's like, with everything that you look up, because everything you can look it up, then it becomes what's right, what's wrong, what's real, what's false, what's not, what's this, what's that, and all of this other stuff. And it's always this. And what, for me, I find it interesting, extremely interesting, because as we're moving into this as we proceed, as we all proceed on this train of life together, us souls on this train, all going together, regardless of if we want to or not. Like, time is still going, and we're all still moving, like, together, regardless. I don't like that part. I don't like, look, we're shoot, unless you're dead. We're all still on the train. But with that, like, what's right, what's wrong, and then it becomes this concept of, if the information is not correct, then, oh man, if you have subscribed to information that is incorrect, listen. And then if you've subscribed to information that is correct, yo, you better tell everyone. And I know firsthand the feeling of both sides. When you know something, you know it. I know this information, and then you find out that's not right. And I mean, and you just got, it's not right. And then other times when you know the information and it is right, and you just gotta, you know. But at the end of the day, like, that information, whether or not it's right or wrong, is like perspective based. Like, if I say something to somebody and it can be the rightest thing to me, but the wrongest thing to them, and like, that's the concept of like the meta, you know, metacognition, meta. But the metaverse thing is like, so the digital space, okay. It's this digital man-made space. The space that's not made naturally. It's like made by man. Man created it, programmed it, and we go into the space and share information, disagree, agree. The concept of it being if it's you, they're using the word meta. So inside, let me pull that definition back up. If we're using the word meta, it's like inside. It ain't like out, It says, so a colloquial, okay, look, a colloquial usage, a metaverse, is a network of 3D virtual worlds focused on social and economic connection. So it means a network of 3D virtual worlds. So the metaverse, what they're saying is like a game. And if we've seen the metaverse, the games, it looked terrible. It looked like a terrible game. But the concept of it being like the world within the world, like that's what they're getting to, the digital world within the digital world. That's why I say like this is already the metaverse, but they're trying to build like an actual 3-dimension. They're not trying. They are. Like people are. Like it's a whole other avenue. It's a whole industry and scene, working on levels on Unreal Engine, building whole worlds, building things to be sold. Like, I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful, actually. But with that being said, it's supposed to be like this metaverse. It's this inside digital world. And so, like, because it's programmed by man, like they're supposed to be, it's programmed by man, so it's not the real world. So there's like infinite possibilities, right? I guess that's the concept, the idea of like you being able to be in the metaverse and you being able to, I guess, do whatever you want. Like you can't do that in real life. And that's interesting. That's interesting. That's the idea that the digital space holds the people, and the digital space, the fictional universe, is going to be the space in which the people can communicate and do whatever they want. Not the physical space. The metaverse. The metaverse. And that's interesting. And I think it's also interesting, the narrative. There's like a whole narrative that was, in my opinion, placed that says the metaverse is terrible. And I'm not saying the metaverse is good. Like, in my opinion, when Zuckerberg and them, and when you look at it, of course, it looks terrible. So how they knew that? It's plenty of games. Star Citizen is the game, the metaverse. Like, you look at Star Citizen, there you go. But, and I get it, it's supposed to be because it's Facebook. So it's like Facebook's version. So they're going to start off and it's going to look like that. And eventually they're going to grow it up, And it's because it's Facebook, like, it can look like that. The whole point is they have a whole bunch of people. But it shouldn't look like that. It's Facebook. It should look sweet. But it don't. I mean, the whole thing with the metaverse being like, the metaverse is this. Like, this is the metaverse. So like the idea of how Twitter changes to X, like that's probably what is going to happen to all of this. YouTube's gonna change to whatever. It's gonna be like maybe a whole thing. X, like, dog, what? And that's gonna be, he said, the largest global financial institution. X. And this is what he said years ago, though. He didn't even just say this now. Like, he said this back, like, when PayPal, apparently. Like, I didn't even know he had anything to do with PayPal. Elon Musk had to do with PayPal, y'all. And it was first X. It was X. So, you're going to be banking, like where we're going. I get on, I guess it's going to be like this, except I put, no, I'm not putting on no headset, dog. And you know what else? Okay. They cloned Tyrone. Okay. 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 Elon Musk, Neuralink with it. Okay. Neuralink. Now, Neuralink is the technology. Before we continue, because the whole point, that I'm saying is, like, I don't think it's anything to fear with any of this stuff. Like, I think we are. Look, I'm not getting it, so I don't care. Look, if you want the Neuralink, get the Neuralink. I don't think I'm getting no Neuralink. But the Neuralink is a chip that go into your brain, and the chip is like to help paraplegics, to help blind people, deaf people. This is revolutionary technology. It's sweet. I'm with it. I think it's great. Like, I genuinely think it is amazing. Metacognition. Okay. Metacognition. So, my thinking, there's a chip where it'll cure you of being blind, deaf, dumb. No, but not dumb. I get, because it's a computer in the mind. It's the paraplegics will be able to stand. Like, that's crazy. That's amazing. When the pandemic started, there was this talk about getting, and now before we look in Marvel Comics, there was Devil's Breath, and I'm talking about the video game Spider-Man. Okay, stay with me. Don't act like I don't know what you're talking about. Where does he listen? YouTube algorithm, artificial intelligence. Look. Okay, so there was talk about, like, getting particular medicines. I don't know if you can say particular words on YouTube. I know at one point you couldn't say certain words. There was a word that I showed earlier accidentally. I didn't even mean to go to that article. But, like, there's certain words you can't say, which is interesting if we're all, free. But the concept, and we are free. That's what I'm talking about too. That's why I'm able to talk. For real. That's what I'm metacognition. We're going to talk about the mindset and all of it. But there was conversations of particular medications that are injectables, and people were there was like this split of like two sides talking about injectable medications, and like one side look, I'm one side was talking about injectable medications from the perspective of, no, I ain't getting no injectable medications. It's microchips in them. It's microchips in the medications. Okay, and then the conversation would then go, well, you took other medications, because the other side was for the medications. You took other medications. Why now all of a sudden it's matter? And it's like, it was this argument. It was like a genuine, like, debate. Like, so there's a narrative that the metaverse and that cryptocurrency and that NFTs and that all of this is bad. We don't want it as gamers and as consumers and technologiers, and we don't want it. No, I don't want it. And it's like, but people don't even understand what it is. But the narrative, no, we don't want it. This is what the mob says. We all go with the mob. The narrative was already placed. Injectables are dangerous. Injectables are not. And it was just fighting. And like we know before injectables, so in the Spider-Man game, when Devil's Breath took place, it's called Devil's Breath. That's what it was called in the game. like we know that there's two sides to a coin. Like we know as when you're on this side, you know pretty much what the other side is going to say. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't, you know. Maybe you don't. But it's almost like a choreographed, rehearsed fight, dance. It's like, no, that technology doesn't. No, and it's like, but nobody really knows. It's just argument. It's just like, but you don't really know. It's like instead of, so Bill Gates said because he was asked about injectables and them being having microchips in them, and he said that technology does not exist. Now, I should be showing clips to back up what I'm saying. But that's not the point. I'm not arguing anything. I'm really having a discussion about like I'm talking about what's going on, in my opinion of what's going on, the metaverse, metacognition, and then we're going to talk about they cloned Tyrone. So like that's why I don't need to show clips of he said this, but then Elon Musk said Neuralink. So how can that technology not be real if Elon Musk just announced it? Like it's not the point. I think we're past the arguments. I think we're like, I mean, some people want to argue, that's fine. You go ahead and argue and you can do that. But like in real life, real things are going on. Like in our personal lives, in everyone's personal lives, real things are going on and real things are happening to people. So then it becomes this real conversation of like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Like, okay, like we can be on script and the word conspiracy theory means this, that, and the third. Therefore, if you say this, that, and the third, you fall in line with conspiracy theory. And then you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. And like it's just these manufactured arguments. Some people want to say psychological operations. That's fine. The concept of even like so when I go deeper, okay, and then we'll bring it to they cloned Tyrone, because Tyrone, like that's a black name, okay? Look at me. I'm wearing a black shirt, all right? I'm coffee colored. Look. Okay, so there's been a lot of stuff going on in general pertaining to people of color. That's what people of color, okay? It's a lot. All right. I feel like as a young man growing up, it's a lot. And then like now I'm grown up. Yes. Now I'm grown up and I'm still growing. And like you just start getting hit with stuff from the past, and you get hit with more stuff. What? You know, it's just a lot. In school, and even in general, we're taught about slavery. We're taught about the plight of the black people, the plight of the African American people, the plight of the Negroes, the plight of whatever word. Yes. And this plight is something that is like ingrained, not just within the culture, but within our ancestral DNA. And there are all of these phrases and scripts and concepts, not to take away from the legitimate horrors and atrocities that have taken place. That's not what I'm saying. Again, the point isn't to argue and say, this versus that. I'm just talking about my opinion. Okay. So like learning about all of the atrocities, learning about all of like the it's something, it takes a toll on the psyche. There is a psychological impact that it's had, at least a psychological impact that I had, it had on me, being the word that came to my mind that I was supposed to use, but I'm not going to use it. But with my telling you the word, it basically is me using the word. But again, the point isn't to this versus that, because I'm going to go, because like this is real. But like there was an indoctrination of black people going through hell and being in hell and just hell for black folk. Just people black means death. So you're the dead people. Like, it's just like, and then you start learning about that, right? Because when you're in school, you learn. I mean, not all the time. Some people don't learn at school. Some people go to school for other reasons, and it's nothing wrong with that either. But you learn in school sometimes, and you learn just the whole circle of the messed upness. Not only was it done on the physical level, but look, they stripped you this and put that and doop deep the bop beep bop beep doop boop boop, you know, and all of it. They didn't clone Tyrone, y'all. They didn't clone Tyrone, y'all. They didn't strip that away. They didn't add that layer. Hey, they didn't clone Tyrone. Shoot, they'd be like, you Tyrone. I'm Tyrone. I'm Tyrone. Look, just because I am a person of color who is interested in the financial markets and who has a channel on YouTube and who talks eloquently and articulately and articulately and who has the ability to entertain and blah blah blah, does not mean that I'm Tyrone. And I can't, no, like y'all remember that? I'm Tyrone. And y'all remember that? It's okay. It's okay. Let me get back on it though. All of that stuff, like, you be like, I be listening, like, growing up, I was listening, like, dang, they didn't did it all. They didn't mess this up, right? We just messed up. Shoot, we just messed up. And that'd be like that'd be the frequency where a lot of people be at. Be like, black folks just messed, y'all done got messed up. You just messed up. And like, that's not a good, you know, like the thought process is to understand and to know the history in the past is one thing, but like there should be perhaps there should be like a we're all on our own journey. I have nothing really to say about it if I'm being really honest. Like in truth, full transparency, like I all that stuff for me, I don't regret learning or going through any experience, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be right here. Not that I'd be dead or nothing, but like, you know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason, in my opinion. All that information though, it was a lot. Like, dang, you just went through it. And then they testing on black folk. Black folk getting tested on too. Like, they done did the skeegee. They done did all this stuff. God dang, man. What is going on? What's so, like, what we supposed to do? What's the... And then like, You start learning about the history mo. It start going into the industry. They start, oh man. Oh, they didn't had minstrel shows. Oh man, they didn't did blackface. Oh, they didn't did all of it. Everything. It's just dog. Come on. So, you know, my mind, when I start hearing about Metacognition, start hearing about all of this stuff that's been done to black folk, all of this negative stuff, and then it's still negative stuff that happened. All the, then you just the mind is a thing. Okay, it's real. Like you start because everything is the way the society is structured. We have like a structure in which information is kind of funneled. You know, it's kind of like a game of a telephone almost. You can always go to that direct source and get that direct information, or you can get it from a secondary source or from a third source or from a, it's so many different places. But like, as I said earlier, it becomes, well, what source is correct? What source is the source that is the legitimate source? And I asked the question, what makes something legitimate? So like in school, I learned about peer-reviewed. Okay, you have your peer-reviewed articles, and these are the articles that have gone through the scientific method and gone through the panel, and these are the things that stand with science and stand the test of science. But when you look at these articles, you start research and stuff, you start seeing you can find articles for pretty much everything. Not everything is peer reviewed, but there are articles for everything. There's articles for everything. There's research for everything, which is interesting. It's like, there's research for things. And so then it becomes, well, that research is not credible because X, Y, and Z. And so I just go, okay. So if X, Y, and Z makes the information credible, and it's not to say that X, Y, and Z is not a necessary thing that needs to take place for things to be said that they're credible. That's not the point. I am just pointing out. So for X, Y, and Z to take place, for it to be credible, what makes X, Y, and Z, what gives X, Y, and Z that level of credibility? If we understand that atrocities have been committed and all of these different things, like, where does it start and where does it stop? Metacognition. Then the mind, you could just. Now, all of that, I think, is very interesting. I think from the perspective of a consumer, of a person of color, a man of color, I think it's very interesting researching, hearing conversations, and even hearing what is considered to be credible and what is not considered to be credible, and then living life day to day and experiencing life the way that I do, and my thought process and my experiences, what that means in comparison to what is considered to be credible and what is considered to be not. And it's so interesting. Technology is always evolving, always shifting, always growing. Innovation is innovation, okay? And it's so interesting that within that sphere of innovation, of infinite possibilities, for real, that infinality is like suppressed and funneled into like a, well, it's only real if this, that, and the third. Especially when it comes into play, or when information comes out where, well, actually, What we've been saying this whole time is not the case. It was a lie. The X is possible. I think that's so it's like, wait. So then as a member of society, it just becomes, okay, you're waiting to be shocked. You're waiting for them to say, oh, yes, we actually do understand this, and we have technology that is considered to be not possible, and the laws of physics actually aren't the way that you think, because we have been working with technology that proves that, because it's not that. And but there's legitimate conjecture and conversation about what is real and what is not. So then, for you to say this is real, this is not, and then to say technology exists that goes against the laws of physics, but that's I guess for me, because you can go down the line of like the fearful concept, but for me, I think it's positive, for real. I really do think it's positive. I think the idea, the even the mere point of like being able to see it and understand it and now talk about it, like that's what's necessary. That's what's needed. The fear concept, that's something that we have to agree on to. We have to agree, like, that artificial intelligence knows the way. Like, artificial intelligence is not intelligent. It's artificially intelligent. The technology, look, we been gone. Technology, so now education and us all learning and us all adapting and us all learning for real. But the concept of this isn't real, this is real, da 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 da, like that's it's so interesting, because the arguments are this what people have to say is it's not original. They don't have their own ideas. People don't have their, like, you don't have your own concept. You don't have your real opinion to give. You're more so referencing some other work in which, and you feel as if that is going to make whatever you have to say more credible. But who you're referencing, are they credible? Netflix movie, that Cloned Tyrone, was good. I liked it. Now the point of the film is just these ideologies. Okay, this is my perspective of the point of the film. These ideologies, right? Use these big words, okay? These concepts, these characters, these people, because that's what they really are. They people. But these people that are in these roles, the movie is commenting on these people in these roles and saying that these people that are in these specific roles are working hand in hand with the government. That's like my interpretation of it. They're clones. Now, that's like, so when it comes to conspiracy theories, like, conspiracy theories are considered to be not true because they're like backed by nothing, I guess. It's kind of just random knowledge that came from, I don't know, the street knowledge. I don't know, but not even street knowledge. It's like, I don't know, but it's not considered to be legitimate. So for me, it's interesting when I hear, like, a lot of the things that I learned in school, the atrocities, straight up sound like conspiracy theories, and then they're real. So then it's like this concept of conspiracy theories even existing, but in real life atrocities take place. It's like, what? So the if the in the film, the drug dealer, he's the clone. The prostitutes, the Claire clones. All of the different characters, the various characters in the hood. In the hood, that's how they say. The various characters in the hood, they're clones with the government, and the I guess the point of the film was like the people got to come together to stop those concepts. They got to come together and say, actually, you know what, governor, because you got to be. If I'm gonna be in a film, I guess I should play a British person because I'm from America. You know what, governor? You know what, love? We're not gonna go for it no more. Time's up, innit? So you gotta say, time's up, innit? And I'll be like the Jamie Foxx. I gotta have a spider punk behind me, Daniel Kaluuya, and you gotta have like the subtitles, cause you can't understand nothing he say. But no, he's supposed to be. John Boyega got that, so never mind. He can't be Tyrone cause John Boyega, the Brit. But what I'm saying is like, the commentary was like, this horrible thing. This horrible thing is what it takes for the hood to come together, And in real life, like, I mean, in real life, stuff is going on. Who knows what everything, what's going on exactly. Who knows? Like, my thought process is it's a metaphor concept talking about the various thought processes, or the cloned thoughts, the cloning of the character, the idea of the drug dealer, the idea of the prostitute, the idea, So they're talking about this cloning of this metaphysical character, or this internal character, I guess, right? So perhaps, but with that, see, like, the thing is, the thought process, I really, the film is so, like, the film, like, is very, not heavy-handed, but it's very much like in line with today's present, but actually at that same time it has like visual qualities of like the 70s and the 80s, which is just, in my opinion, like kind of black culture, a little bit of people of color culture, African American culture, all of it. But the movie is very heavy-handed when it comes to like the handling of the culture. It's like the commentary of just the black people, of the people. It's so interesting because I think about, from a storytelling perspective, telling stories and the implication of the stories, and the stories being to arouse or to arise a particular feeling out of the audience. And it's just interesting because that feeling that was like, yeah, they all came together at the end, but then it was still like, and I'm spoiling the movie. I didn't spoil the movie. I apologize. I didn't spoil. Dang, dog. What? Dog, my bad. I didn't spoil it that deep. But my bad. But they all come together, and it's still at the end though, they clone Tyrone. Like all of that that character wasn't even, that was all, that was fake. That was all like a created story, a created concept for the clones, like an experiment for, which is, it's just like, dang, it's just this created narrative. It was a created narrative. So like a psyop, you know, it was a psyop. The clones, the one clone thought he was the main guy. He thought that he was the main guy, and that like everything was cloned from him. But it turned out the other dude, the older dude, was the main guy, and he was the clone to the older dude. But then it turned out that the older dude, was the clone to Tyrone, who the movie was about, and it wasn't even about him. So it's like this whole narrative that was created that was fake. It was a fake narrative to entice X, Y, and Z. And then I guess the loop is like, now Tyrone, you see him and is X, Y, and Z. And it's just loop. I guess, right? The point is, they all got to come together. Me as a writer, like, it's nothing. I thought the movie was great, but like an uplifting story. I mean, it was uplifting. It just the commentary, the portrayal of the characters. I mean, that's how some people is. It's just interesting. It was a psyop. It was a whole psychological operation on those characters, on the clones, and that was just a whole interesting thing. Metacognition. I just think about like the idea. There's this is a discussion. So off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember the cave theory. Is it Plato's cave? Let me look that up real quick. Is it Plato's cave? Maybe that's not the right. Let me look that up. Allegory of the cave. In the allegory, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, allegory of the cave. So the allegory of the cave is like some people that stayed in a cave basically, and all they knew was this cave, and because all they know is this cave, like there's more to the world than a cave, but all they know is this cave. Because that's all they know, like I believe it was like the king or somebody, because they was prisoners or something, but because that's all they know, like people are able to do things around the cave. They're able to do things in the cave without the people that are in the cave. All they know is the cave without them knowing. So because all they know is the cave, the folks that's doing things, like the people don't know is folks doing things. They just, whatever happens in their mind is whatever is whatever. It's whatever. So it's they doing, people in the cave looking at the wall, that's all they know. Then it's a light peering in, and people doing like little shadow animals and stuff, and the people just sitting at the cave looking at the shadows like, oh my God, what is that? Oh, they don't know it's a shadow. They don't know what a shadow is. All they know is the cave. So like I just think about the idea of being subjected constantly to like, and it's not to take away from atrocities that have taken place. It's not what I'm saying. I'm more so now talking about psychologically the impact that once you get the information, then move forward with it, like, and how does that movement forward take place when perhaps people that's in the cave is still getting the lights, and it's like You know, because if they say, if they, you know, that they, like, and they, look, they we know they be lying. Okay, they is a liar. They be lying. So, but when they say, like, this is what is possible, and then they say we lied about that. Now, at this point, why should I even care? People got bills to pay. People got this to pay. Why should we? The idea of a psyop, the idea of like a distraction, all that stuff, like without even going. What's the point? If if okay, if that's if this is, if X, Y, and Z is impossible, okay, but then they turn around and say we lied about that. That means then whatever I want, really, because you just made up some stuff. You had a whole bunch of whatever behind it. You didn't put, like, you got your books, you got your years of empirical data, you got your scientific methods, you got your all of these things to back up the theories. That's because that's the argument. Theory. All of these things to back up the statement, the theory that X, Y, and Z is possible. So then you can't just turn around and say that's a lie, or because that's not what happened. What I'm saying right now is that's a form of misinformation. They didn't turn around and say anything was a lie. There was individuals that testified to the government, and they testified saying things that is not supposed to be possible. So when testifications of things that are not supposed to be possible are made, and the conversation goes to, because there isn't a real because there's so much going on, ain't it? Like, okay. And that's really how I feel too. Like, okay, like we kind of past that. I mean, it was everybody at their own place in. But when we talk about psyops, and there's conversations of what's right and what's wrong, what's real and what's false, you know. And then it's stated this is actually true, or that what we said was false. Like, that's when, you know, I think that's why I say we don't, there's no need to have any fear or anything, because we, at the end of the day, are in control. Like, and perhaps people, there's an illusion of control, or whatever concept you want to have. But I think, like, for me, there's a large comfort in watching it. Like, it's a show, it's a distraction, it's whatever. Like, live life, you know, just live life. Like, talk about it. Talk YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's interesting. It's really interesting versus it's something that is angering or emotional, fearful. Yeah. All of these concepts of fear being cloned. All of these concepts of all of these, they just, you know, they took out your background, took out your last name, your first name, your this, that, and the third, and there go Tyrone. And that's like a story that I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, if, like, I subscribe to anything is possible. If anything is possible, then Anything is possible. Like, for real. There is it 100%. We all are here together, and we all are on the train together, whether we like it or not. With that, like, I think the point is to have fun, and perhaps that's what's missing. Perhaps that's what's missing, the fun. You know, I understand though, because it took a minute for me, at least. It took a minute to figure out the fun aspect, because you just get told it's not fun, it's horrible, it's this, it's that, and then there's a pandemic that took place. You like, Lord, goodness gracious! Shout out to all the folks that went to school during the pandemic, graduated during the pandemic. Yo, this is different. Come on, man. Come on, man. You get the word of the 2 years was quarantine. Another word was social distance. You ever heard of that? Made up all types of words. Earlier I was like, can I say that? I can say that. Ain't that something? What can I say and what can't I? But I mean, shoot, right? That's right. That's right. Go through the process, the validation process. I don't know. What's it? I don't know. I do know. I have an idea. We all have an idea, though. But, you know, they cloned Tyrone. They took all that away. And I think, though, the best part for me is I don't have to agree with that. Like, I don't have to agree with any of it. I don't have to agree with any of the concepts, with any of the theories, with any of it. We all don't. We all actually can. I think from a collective point, there is an actual structure and systematic way in which things should take place, in which things can take place. I think there is, of course, and always room for discourse. Always. I think that's what's missing. And I think at that same time, within that discourse, the anticipation and acceptance of a variety and appreciation of a variety of different perspectives is required. That's it. Required. It is, because, I mean, like what they didn't. Like, they're gonna have robots. We're gonna have robot butlers. People gonna have a robot butler? Really? Like, what? Metacognition, okay. This thought process of building things for profit, great. Building things to make life easier, great. What if, though, there was an investment in, like, for real building, like, things to make our lives better for real? Like, just an idea that I'm going to say on my channel. What if, instead of the idea of smartphones, not even smartphones, let's not go there. That's very large, because the point of they're going to replace smartphones with Neuralink. What if, instead of us, I guess that's what I was about to say. I was about to say something like Neuralink. But I don't know. I don't even know about that either. I take that. I rescind my comment. I omit it. I erase it. I delete it. I go back. What I was getting to, though, the thought process of, like, real evolution of our bodies, of life, of day-to-day life, the concept of Neuralink, but without installation of chips in the body. The idea of we already, like, neurolinguistic programming is something that is real. hypnotherapy is something that is real. Like all of these concepts that are considered to be quack or like it's arguments about it, but yet there are licensed individuals who actually practice and study these things for years. So it's like this dissonance of what's right, what's wrong, what's real, what's not. And I think like what really needs to take place and what really is the technological switch and is like the understanding that we decide what's right and what's wrong and what's real and what's not. Yeah. And I think that's the main part. I think we decide. It's not anything that we need to fear because like we decide. And that's something right there. That's like a whole, because what does that even mean? How do we decide? You know, that's a whole nother conversation. Metacognition, though, we all play a role. We all is here. We all are here, regardless of how insignificant you may think you are, of how minute you're, whatever. You're not, okay? Like, we're all here for real. Like, actually, right now. And some people are not here anymore. Like, that's the point. We're all on the train together, and some people are getting off the train. But we're all on the train and we're actually here. So like with that, I don't think there's anything really to fear. I actually know there's nothing. I feel like there's a choice that has to be made for you to fear, or there's a choice for you to not fear. And the fear thing is difficult. Like in school, I was taught to be afraid. Like for real. And that fear, because everybody reacts differently to fear. People fight when they get afraid. People, like there's so many different things when it comes to fear. Shoot, Spider-Man is afraid. That's why he's Spider-Man. He don't want nobody else to die like his uncle. He afraid. Fear. These concepts of fear. And it's like do people even recognize the fear? Do people recognize that concept? Like I did not. I did, but I did not. You know, it take time. It take time. You take metacognition. Meta. Going within. Meta. Going on the metaverse. Not always. You know, that's another thing. You don't have to go in the metaverse. That's another thing. Go inside. But the metaverse, you can get some information. You heard what I just said. You can get some information, you know. But at the end of the day, like, because I see the point of the metaverse, at least when I hear the metaverse, my mind went to, so like there it's gonna be like it's the place, the digital space that is like the real space, but in that digital space you can do anything. Like that's the concept. Like, oh, I can go to my friend's house in the metaverse. Okay. And then quarantines and stuff, it's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Are you good? I'm good. I hope you good. I'm good on that. I put on the headset like when I was a kid, that sounded really cool. Nah, dog. I mean, barely glasses. Like my thought process, at least have glass, but barely that. Like all that got to change, dog. Come on, man. Like this technology, ain't nobody putting on no headset. This is 2023. You know, this is what I'm saying. No. Hey, there's a narrative though against the metaverse and all this stuff, but the narrative to me, I feel, is like, I mean, maybe that is the narrative. Maybe It is genuine people. There are genuine people that have said, no, I've looked into the concepts, the theories, and I don't like it. Web3 is that. NFTs are this. Cryptocurrency is shit. So maybe people did do that. I don't know. As someone who is not within the Web3 space that deep, I am I'm like an onlooker in the Web3 space. I'm within it, but I ain't. I think the Web3 space is sweet. I think like everybody's gonna love it. I don't know if we're gonna move exactly like Metaverse, like that, but I do think Web3 is going to be a shift with the internet. Perhaps X is something. We're gonna shift with the internet, but I think Web3 is everybody gonna love it for real, and that's why I think there's this narrative like we don't want Web3, we don't want blockchain. It's even in Tyrone. In Tyrone, I feel like an old person. Old people. I feel like no disrespect. Like, you know, he'd be like, they refer to things as though it'll have a whole name, and they refer to it as that one thing, or they say somebody's name wrong. You know, you're talking about, yeah, you know, it's called the Nintendo Switch. They just call it the Nintendo. You know what I'm talking about. But the technology and everything, in my opinion, I feel as if we should be at the space in which, if we're doing Metaverse, like it needs to be like holograms. Yeah, I'm saying it. It needs to be like hologram. Come on, man. What is I'm not putting on no headset. Then they had us talking about we're gonna be on the phone. You're going to walk down the street with your phone like this, looking. I'm not doing that either. I don't even walk down the street on my phone like that. So, like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that. I'm like a cool nerd. So, like, I call myself cool, so it's true. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a cool nerd, so I don't do all that. I'm not about to have the HoloLens. Walking down, I'm not about to have a Google Glass. Got to figure that one out. They need to figure that one. Come on, watch the other movies. The watch, shoot the hologram, the Wakanda tech. Come on, dog. Come on. Forget it. Bring it on. Bring it on out. Matter of fact, that's what we got to do it. Probably the people just got to do it. That's where I think we going to. I'm gonna have a video about that whole stream about that, where we really going with the technology, where we really going like. The people gonna have to do all of it because the corporations is they done. Keep buying each other up. Consolidate if you want. Go ahead. I'm not getting the smart house, the Google, Microsoft smart house, whatever, the Apple smart. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it early. Y'all gotta do something else with technology. You gotta do it for real. You can't do it like the movies. You gotta do it for real. It's technology that's real, so we gotta do it for real. You gotta look at the actual benefits to the people, to the human. What do people really need outside of like chips? And some people, if you want to be a robot, that's fine. If you want to get the cybernetic, that's fine. I think that should 100% be available. But at the same time, there should be the technology for like the concept of if I can have a device that will emit a signal that can charge my phone, there should be a device that heals the body. Look, come on. It should not be like and a sauna. Yeah. I'm talking science fiction here. I'm talking about the device. Look, if there's a device where you turn it on and it emits waves and it starts messing you up, turn it on, it's a device, and it emits waves and make you feel better. Come on. What are we talking about? It's like, all of this other stuff is fake. It's like, what are we talking about? Hey guys, we're going to put the phone in your brain. Sounds like a great idea. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to be texting. I'm sorry, I was reading my email. Like, what? Like, what? No, we're not doing that. Lift the veil. No. No. You got to make the real technology. That's all I'm saying. If you're cloning, I think cloning is illegal. So, like, no. Okay? No. The corporations, no. Look, this is YouTube. This is a corporation right here that I'm talking. I'm talking on YouTube. YouTube, I appreciate you. I think it's great. But if I mean, you're Google, so you got the artificial intelligence. Look, you don't have my permission. You know how they be the Facebook videos? They be like, people make the Facebook post and they'll say, I do not own the copyrights to this song or whatever. Like, look, you do not have permission, YouTubes, to scam my likeness, make an artificial intelligence version of me and none of that. Okay? No. And just because I said it, that means that you're not going to do it because I said it. Don't care about no terms, usage. I don't accept. They'd be like, does that stand in the court of law? Yes. Yes. I ain't playing either. Everybody acting shocked. It's like the crazy people. Were they crazy? The not crazy people, are they crazy? Is it the inverse world? Is it upside down? What's going on? What's going on? Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. That's funny. Hey, that's really it. Yeah, that's really it. I just wanted to really talk about the technology, the metaverse, metacognition, the thought process, like my thoughts on all of it. Metaverse, all like Tyrone. They cloned Tyrone. The culture, black culture, like cloning black culture is manufactured. They ripped it off. They figured it all. They made it all up. The NWA is made by the government. That's why it was that. All of it's the government. Everything's the government. The government. The government. The government. The government. They. Now what? Now what? Well, I think the real answer is still got to pay my bills, so I mean, I like all that she was just talking. Wish you could put some money in my pocket, though. You know, that didn't. Wish you could put some money in my pocket. Yeah. Yeah, you know, they say once you go woke, you go broke. So, you know, if it's the you gotta surpass, you gotta keep moving forward, keep going, keep going. That's funny. That's it, y'all. That's really it. They cloned Tyrone. The culture is cloned. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, culture cloned. But talk about that, and then the next live, the real problem with Spider-Man PS5. You heard that rhyme? Doing it all the time. Going live, rapping in a dime. Hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. It's late, y'all. We done did this for a little bit. It's late. It's over here 12:34 a.m. at the time of this live stream. I'm live at 12. I have work. This is work. I have more work. Work. No Rihanna. Hey, I appreciate y'all for watching, tuning in with me, y'all. We'll be back on the next episode where we talk about the real problem with Spider-Man 2. The real problem, though. It's like I'm really going to really talk about it because it's been bothering me for a little bit. I talked about it a little bit in my last Appreciating Unique Perspectives, but we're going to really talk about it because, if you woke Insomniac, what's up with that? I do the faces because that's how I was feeling. All right, it's late. And I appreciate y'all for watching, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have an amazing night, the rest of your night. I hope you have an amazing day tomorrow. I hope you have an amazing week, an amazing month. It's it's August 2 now. August 2, 2023. I'm dating this stream. So, but shoot, you see where it's coming from. I did not put an X on the Twitter thing. Should I do that? Is it going to change back? I don't know. We figured that one out. I appreciate you, though, for watching. Thank you all. Have a great night. Have a great one. I am Venom 2 Million saying... I can't act like I froze because it's stuff moving, so I can't act like I froze. But peace, y'all. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.